Hey everybody, welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up. This is the press conference with Team USA Men's 15's head coach Gary Gold and captain Bryce Harper with Aalina Tabani moderating.
Matt, I know you jumped on first, so why don't we start with you, and then we'll go around the room.
Sounds good. Hi, guys.
Coach,
Matt. Just a quick question for you, Coach. How's the health of Will McGee? He's kind of limped off that pitch after a pretty solid match last week.
No, he's good. He's good. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, no, he trained well this week. I'm happy to say all the guys have trained really well this week. Been a week that's had some fun challenges with travel, but we're here now and you're safe and healthy. And as I say, had a good session, and now it's just about rest and prep and relaxation. But everybody's fine. Yeah, no, Will looks good.
Anything else from you, Matt?
Yeah, Bryce. You're looking at doing things differently, or are you saying let's stick to the game plan? We know it worked.
Hey Matt, thanks. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is just the same game plan, just do it a bit better. It's not a complicated game. The simpler we make it, the easier it is for us to go out and execute. So yeah, nothing new. And
if you're say down at like 6 at halftime, do you go in there? Are you the kind of guy that tears apart the dressing room to get the guys uplifted, or what's your style?
No, I'm more about lifting guys up than tearing them down. But yeah, that's just me. It depends. Gary may tear some of the guys down every now and again, but for the most part, no.
So Coach Gold is the one that takes apart the water cooler.
At times, but usually not.
Fair enough.
Thanks, guys. Goff, let's jump to you.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm here in a rest stop on the freeway, by the way. You can see the Burger King over there. Okay. First of all, Gary, you may disagree. It seemed like there was a lot of slow ball at times, or Uruguay slowing the ball down, little hands in and stuff like that. How do you police that? How do you deal with that? Or do you just sort of accept sometimes that's going to be refereed that way and you're just going to have to adjust?
No, I mean, first and foremost, we've got to look at ourselves, Alex. I mean, we've got to see if our presentation skills have been accurate, if our cleaners have done their job first and foremost. Ultimately, if you've done a good job with your footwork and you've carried well and, you've hit the space correctly, then, hopefully you'd be in a situation where no opposition can get their hands all over the ball to slow it down. So ultimately, we've got to look at ourselves first and foremost. We've got to make sure that, we're doing our basics correctly, which is what Bryce has alluded to. This week, our focus point has been ourselves. I mean, we think we let ourselves down on the weekend. We did a lot of hard work for 60 minutes, got ourselves into a really commanding position on the field, and then really let it slip again. And it's not the first time we've done that. So, this week is really about focusing on ourselves and the things that we know we can do better. And actually that happens to be one of them, making sure that, we can give Ruben a quick ball or Nate, whoever's on the field at the time, and, ensuring that ball is presented on a platter, if not actually offloaded in the contact situation, and being able to be quicker. And, as we all know, the quicker the ball, the more we can play rugby. So, that's part and parcel of, one of our focus points this week is getting things like that right. It's definitely not the ref's fault. I mean, not
Great.
at all.
Right. Hey, defenders do what they can, try to do. Thank you, and Bryce. Gary alluded to this, but a big momentum shift in the second half. You had that 50-22, looked like you had that attacking line out, could get your fourth try, and instead it gets called back for a late hit. And was that a big momentum shift? Did that turn things around? It seemed like you just, after that, difficult for you guys to get any more scoring opportunities going. How did you deal with that?
Hey, Alex. Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough part of the game for us. We for a few seconds think we're in the money here with our own line out, and then we're back on our own 40 defending again. But but that's just what happens in the game. You have to be able to deal with those big swings and get it back in our favor, which unfortunately we weren't really able to do for the rest of the game. But that's something, that we've looked at this week, and because the momentum is going to shift at times, and it's just about how you deal with it and how you get it back. Yeah, that's it. It's just about getting it back.
All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. John, you want to jump in with a couple?
Sure. Thanks, Aalina. Coach Gold, Bryce, again, thanks for your time. Coach, it looks pretty sunny back there, so the weather must be somewhat nice there. But you talked just a moment ago about the focus this week on yourselves, but what changes in strategy or tactics do you anticipate coming from the opposition on Saturday?
We've seen something in them in the past that we didn't necessarily see on the weekend. Again, we think that they're going to see opportunities to potentially go wide against us, and potentially maybe try and do some things against us that they think they had success with. One being the maul, for example. So I think it's going to be pretty straightforward in terms of what I think they're going to try and do. I think that they're going to try and outmuscle us as well, and that's the big challenge that we've got, is the physicality, that we have to not only match that, but hopefully dominate that. And that's going to be a big challenge for us, particularly down here in front of a hostile crowd. So, our work's going to be cut out for us. But we have, we have anticipated the fact that, there might be a change of strategy, and, they might try and do some things that they haven't done, certainly against us in the first game, but that we have seen some signs of against Canada in previous games before that, or Argentina A that they played a couple of weeks ago. So, we're ready for it. We were ready for, quite a few different strategies last week. And by and large, I thought we dealt with them quite well, only conceding the one try. But I think it's going to be, a different ball game this week. It's going to be quite a lot harder for us. So it'll be much more of a challenge.
Question for you both here. As you look at the journey from the end of that first Canada test match to now, the team has overcome a lot to get here, to be in a position to, potentially clinch America's one and then a berth in the Rugby World Cup 2023. I guess, tell me what you're most proud of, and kind of what does it say about this current batch of Eagles?
I'll take the start. Thanks, John. We did really well to dig ourselves out of a hole after that first Canada game, and we've connected really well as a team, and really showed honesty and looked at that game really hard, and we're able to turn it around. The game last week, like Gary said, we got ourselves in a really good position, but it was pretty disappointing, how it finished. So I think it's pretty similar how we know we can go out and turn the screws and have a performance like we did in the second match against Canada. I'm just proud of how we've come together as a group to put ourselves in this position, and just know that we're going to give everything on Saturday to finish it. So it's not done yet.
Yeah, John, from my point of view, I don't think you got long enough for me to explain all the things I'm proud of with this group. It's just, the character is just amazing. There's so many areas over the last couple of weeks that have affected us, potentially maybe other groups would use as excuses, and we've just cracked on with it. It obviously wasn't ideal after the Canadian series to lose AJ again. Obviously we lost him in the summer as well, and that's one example. There's been a lot of other small pieces of adversity. The COVID challenge has been a very, very difficult challenge to overcome, losing Ryan James in Canada, where he had to stay behind for a couple of weeks. But the fact of the matter is, this group just keeps showing character, just keeps showing the ability to want to bounce back and really want to make the nation proud. That's really what they want to do. We may not always win rugby games, and we may even every now and again put in poor performances, but I don't think you can ever look at this team and say they ever give up. Even in that first game against Canada, we lost our way after being in the lead at halftime, and never ever gave up and scored the last try of the game, and that gave us the confidence to even in that encounter narrow the score. So I mean, this group never give up. I mean, they're an amazing group of players, amazing group of men, and yeah, I'm just very proud to be working with them. And I know that this weekend, the one thing you guys will get is you get a group of guys who will give 100% of themselves for 100% of the time. And you know, as a coach, that's all you can really ask for. You know, obviously you want to rectify mistakes, you want to do things better, but you know, it's not through the lack of intent that the guys aren't showing that. So yeah, I'm very proud of this group, and I really just hope for them that they can go all the way on the weekend.
Thanks, John. Thanks, guys. Matt, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, Coach, you have AJ McGinty out with an injury. Do you have an injury update? And if I'm not mistaken, he wouldn't have been eligible for this particular match anyway, because of COVID restrictions, right?
No, he would have been eligible. He would have been eligible.
Or it was the release thing, right?
Yeah. No, it was no. He would have been eligible for this game. I mean, our European players are here. Greg's here, and KP's here, and Ruben's here. They're all based in the UK, so he would have been eligible. Yeah, but I don't know about his update. He's unfortunately still in Sale, and we weren't able to get him across. And but he wasn't right for the game. But which is unfortunate. But again, it's just another opportunity for, as I say, Maddie, this group to just show some character. And you know, they've done it before and actually many times, and I'm excited to see them do it again this weekend. And
you've got some depth. You've got Cardi, and you've also got Hooley, who could slot in at 10 in a pinch, right? Yeah, well, no, more than a pinch. I mean, you know, Will obviously, you know, played 10 for us when we beat Samoa in Spain, you know, and is an accomplished 10. In fact, he's actually going, you know, going to play his MLR rugby at 10 this year. So, I mean, he is a very accomplished 10. Carts has also played very well for us, and you know, he'll be our backup 10 on the weekend. And I think Will Maggie has just shown his maturity and you know, his leadership, and obviously the combination of him and Bryce being down in Austin and knowing each other so well is brilliant as well. So yeah, we are starting to get some good depth, and you know, the APC, you know, team are also heading down to Uruguay, coming down here in a couple of weeks' time, and there'll be a little bit more depth on show there. So it's all quite exciting for the future. And then, if I may, Aalina, just a quickie for Bryce. Bryce, the point thing matters, right? And I know you're probably frustrated that you didn't come out with a bigger margin of victory last week. Will it impact you going for posts or going for the corner?
We're just going out to win the game. So whatever that takes, we're going to do. Depending on the situation, we may go for points, we may go for the corner, but at this stage, for us, it's 0-0. So that's what we're looking forward to going into the weekend.
Fair enough.
Thanks, guys. Goff, do you have anything else?
I do. Gary, you have to be really pretty happy with the scrum. Tell me how happy you are with it. It seemed like a very good performance last time. Yeah, sorry, Alex, you're breaking up there, but you asked about the scrum. Sorry. Yeah, we were happy about the scrum. Again, I mean, an area that, you know, we really want to keep our foot in the pedal there. You would expect this Uruguayan team to raise their game somewhat at home in front of their own crowd as well. So the scrum was a good contest for us last week. I thought the guys did particularly well at scrum time. You know, 100% scrum success, getting our ball out every single time, putting them under quite a bit of pressure at their scrum time. So it's a great platform for us to play off. I mean, I think we could have made more of the platform we did create, but, you know, from a scrum point of view, actually for once it was quite pleasant watching, you know, two teams going at each other, and, you know, no shenanigans and collapsing, and it was a good clean ball, and you know, it was a good contest all round. And you know, very happy with this, you know, with KP and David. We've got two very young guys, and then not such a young guy in Joey, and but you know, he's leading the way there as the leader of that group, and you know, he's showing some brilliant leadership, but also for himself, he's actually a young pup as a tight head, really. So so it's a fun experiment that we're going through at the moment, and it's still part of a learning curve, but they're all doing a great job. And you know, I've got to give credit to the guys coming off the bench as well. You know, they're also adding, you know, Paul Mullen and Dylan, and this last weekend Matty Harmon came on and, you know, also produced you know, some really good work around the park. So
we're hopefully trying as well to build, strength and depth there, considering you've got guys like Chance, who's unfortunately out with that injury, and Mikey Cecina, who's not available for this tour. So there's some good strength and depth of guys coming back.
Good, excellent, thank you. And Bryce, in the back line, some guys who can really just sort of do something special. And when we saw Mika Kruse do that quick line out that set up Ruben to set up Cam for the try, and Tavide with that catch and pass for Christian to score. I mean, tell me about how excited you are about those guys, just sort of unleashing something maybe a little bit unexpected.
It's awesome. Like, we've got special ball players across the back line, across the entire team. And to see, the confidence, especially of young players like Mika and Pete go out there and just show what they can do, it's pretty cool. And we know that, we've got the strike power to finish off tries. And it's just a lot of fun playing with special players like that.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Alex. Chris, do you want to jump in with a couple?
Yeah, apologies for the time difference scenario here, but that's someone's got to get it wrong. Bryce, can I just ask you about the mentality? Obviously, you came back chasing, and excuse me if this has been brought up before. So will you have an understanding of the mentality they're going to bring to the game and what you need to do to basically stymie that?
Yeah, I mean, thanks, Chris. They're a very passionate group of players. And they've been able to put together some incredible wins. They beat us in 2018. They beat Fiji at the World Cup. They're a very good rugby team, and us coming into their backyard, we're going to have our work cut out for us. But we know at the same time we've done it before, and we can beat them down here. So it's just us sticking to our processes. Like Gary said, it's all about focusing on what we can do and what we can control during this game. And I think if we do that to our best ability, we'll be fine.
And Gary, if there's just one or two absolute have-tos for this game, what is it?
I think after what we saw last weekend, what we have to do is keep our discipline. I mean, obviously, one of the biggest things is we can't be giving them easy get out of jail cards like we did last week. And, I think, unfortunately, we gave them, 11 opportunities in the second half to regain momentum and either to gain territorial advantage by winning the penalty, or actually the 2 attempts that they went for goal. So, it's those soft moments that we are going to have to be particularly tough on ourselves about this weekend. I don't think we can be giving penalties away, particularly penalties that are avoidable, like silly penalties of not rolling away, or, just being lazy on the height of the tackle, and, what they call a seat belt now, just because, one of your arms is around the shoulder instead of around the waist. And, those are avoidable issues that we need to be particularly hard on ourselves about this weekend, because, that'll just make it more of a contest if we do that. So, that's an absolute must from that point of view. And then secondly, we find ourselves in a situation where, we got quite well ahead on the scoreboard, 19-3. And I mean, I can remember at least a half a dozen times where we just coughed up possession, on our own ball, so who knows what it could have been at that stage. And, and really good try scoring opportunities that we just let slip because of our own errors. So it'll be focused. That's the reason why this weekend is not a cliche. It's, we really did say, hang about now. We've got a good rugby team to play against, but ultimately we've got to, we've got to get through our process first, and we've got to know what we want to do. And, one of those things is being able to build the pressure through phases. And when we did eventually do that, we scored some pretty good tries against them on the weekend. So I think that's going to be no different. Those are the two really must be for us. When we do have possession, we need to look after it, cherish the ball, and make sure that we look after and build the pressure through amount of phases, and then cut out the silly ill discipline that cost us so dearly last weekend.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Best of luck.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Matt, you had one more?
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I got one more each, if you guys don't mind. Coach, I like the fact that you said cherish the ball. That was something that may or may not have been part of the team's discipline in that second half. But changing gears, getting back to Joe Taufete'e with the young pup thing, a lot of people at home might be looking at the screen for the first time and seeing him and recognizing him as the all-time try-scoring hooker for World Rugby. Can you explain the transition there? Is it because he's mobile, or is it because of depth?
Why we've moved him to tight head?
Yeah.
Number of factors, really. Fundamentally, you know,
I'm not questioning it. I'm just
Joey's no. I know you're not. No. Joey's a big unit. You know, he's 125 kilograms. You know, so, and he's a very good scrummaging hooker. And you know, just saw an opportunity. You know, Paul Mullen is a very good tight head, a hugely accomplished tight head. Had a really bad bout of COVID during the MLR season and took a while to come back from that. TT's missing in action. We don't know where TT is. And so our strength in depth is a little bit challenged at the moment at tight head. And, you know, and then you've got young guys like KP and Dylan and Mikey Cecina and these guys who are putting pressure on in that position. And, you know, really what we wanted to do is just get the best rugby players on the field. And you know, we saw an opportunity there that, you know, and then it just so happened to coincide with the fact that when Joe went to Lyon was saying to him, you know, have you tried scrumming it at prop as well? You know, so, and he did, and he's you know, he's doing a lot of time there. So I just thought it was a good, I'm not actually a big fan actually of chopping and changing people in positions. I never ever have been. But, you know, he's over 30 now. I mean, he's the other side of 30 now, you know, and mobility and age doesn't necessarily always work in your favor. And I think it's working for him really now, and it works for us. And, you know, it now means that you've got a really, really good ball carrying tight head, you know, which not a lot of teams in the world can say that they have got. And, you know, and he's mobile for a tight head prop. He's got good mobility. I mean, he was mobile for a hooker. So, it's a little bit of a win-win situation. Those decisions work well if you've got really, really good mobile second rows and you can play them as a blind side, you know, that can work as well, you know, because the modern game is asking for, you know, for better athletes, you know. I mean, the days of having a 140 kilogram tight head who can only scrum and can't do anything else are, you know, behind us. The game is quicker, it's faster, it's got more demands nowadays. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons why, but those are just some of them. And, you know, touch wood, so far, it's working for us. And I think it's work in progress. I mean, I think it's going to be tough. You know, this weekend's going to be a massive challenge for our front row and for Joe. And there's no question of a doubt about that. But, you know, I think he's got the maturity and he plays in the league where he has played in the league for long enough now where he has the experience of scrumming against guys of this caliber. So it's a good exercise for us at the moment.
And that offensive dynamic is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bryce, as the captain, with the experimental laws that are being played around with, specifically the 50-22, do you perspire or raise an eyebrow and worry about your fellow backmates being a little bit off the reservation in terms of kicking opportunities?
Oh, I think it's you know, it's a good opportunity to win some attacking ball and then their side of the field. It is something new for the backfield to deal with, but I think it's working in our favor more than it's working against us at the moment, and hopefully we can keep it that way. I think it's exciting, you know, whether we like it or not. It's part of the game this weekend, and just try to use it to our favor.
Yeah, and as Coach, you pointed out previously when we had another chat, you said that it's ironically transitioned into more kicking than it is running. You know,
it has. But you know, the idea behind it was to open up the backfield, and you know, well, I beg your pardon. I think the idea behind it was to load the backfield so that there's more space in the front line, and more teams would run. But teams seem to be dealing. Uruguay on the weekend, for example, dealt with it with two in the backfield, and you know, we got one opportunity and we were called back because of the penalty. So. But it is encouraging. You're seeing in the Premiership and other forms of the game as well that it is encouraging teams to want to kick the ball more. And you know, and statistically, teams are kicking the ball more, whether we like it or not. So I'm not sure it's achieving its objective, but as Bryce says, it is part of the game at the moment. It's another fun conundrum for us to have to play around with, and hopefully it works in our favor. But it is what it is at the moment.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Matt. Chris Jones, you can wrap up with the final question.
Yeah, can I just go back to what you mentioned about Titi? Where is he and why isn't he with you?
He's in Montpellier at the moment. He's at Montpellier. And he's not available.
But under international release, if you want him, he's got to come, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, if we want him, he has to come. But I think he's got. I think there was some. There's some personal issues as well. I think he's just had a baby, and so we want to be respectful towards that. And I think he wanted to be close to his wife and his family at this time, and so we respected that. And but I see he's playing for Montpellier at the moment, so that's where he is.
Okay, mate, I understand. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. That's gonna wrap it up. Any follow-ups, just shoot me an email, and have a good one.
Good luck, guys.
You guys.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Cheers.
guys.
Please look for our intimate chat with English legend Chris Robshaw, now at the San Diego Legion, The Drink Up with Colby Marshall and Zach Lanning, and the new stuff in the works. Read the United Rugby Championship, the URC, and our college rugby show.